A hog log cheese dog? What's that? Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, the food experience is back. And today I got a creation that I made long ago in the 1980s when I was just a teenager, and I thought I would go ahead and recreate it in the Maxx. I used to go ahead and either pan fry them or deep fry them, but I'm thinking, the Maxx is going to be a way healthier way of doing it. So I'm also going to be making some cheese quesadilla to go along with it. Or is it quesadillas? Well, I'm only going to make one, so I'll make a cheese quesadilla. While the Maxx is heating up, we're going to prepare a hot dog real quick. First, we're going to start off with one hot dog, and I'm going to cut some slits in it diagonally. And you don't want to go too far deep, you just want to go a little bit. And it's just so the bacon grease is kind of going to soak into them. And we're going to go ahead and wrap the dog. There we go. And I always like to start by the first wrap being wrapped around. That way it doesn't unravel on this side. And for this side, I'm just going to go ahead and put a toothpick through it, and that'll hold it together. So I'm going to preheat the Maxx to 375 degrees for this, and we'll be right back. Now the Maxx has preheated to 375 degrees. The air fry light is solid. It's no longer blinking. Time to throw in the dog. I went ahead and put it in the air fryer basket, and I already have the drip pan installed in the lower shelf, and we're going to put this in the regular air frying position. Close it up real quick. Now I'm going to turn it off just so I could do a test. And I'm going to put it on air fry for 11 minutes at 375 degrees and hit start stop. And that way I can kind of gauge how long it's going to take for the next time I do it. Hopefully that's enough time. Okay, 5 minutes has elapsed. Let's go ahead and flip it over. Sometimes I like to use my tongs to hold the door open. It works for me, otherwise those things, they close on you. Watch out. But I do have an oven mitt on, so even if they did, it really wouldn't have hurt me. But we're going to go ahead and let it finish cooking. It might take the full 7 minutes. I totally can't remember how I did it last week. I may have even done it at 400 degrees. I'm just not too sure, so I'm trying 375 just in case. We'll see what happens. Here it goes. All right, time's up. Let's give it a look. That actually looks pretty good. But I'm pretty sure I did it at 400 degrees last time, and it only took around 8 minutes. So here we are at about 11 minutes, and I'm getting around the same result. So just want to throw that out there. If you do it, I recommend 400 degrees if you have like medium cut bacon. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I'm going to go ahead and turn it back on. I'm going to set the time a little higher though, so it has time for me to prepare the next step. And the next step definitely is going to go to 350 degrees and let it rip. Next, what I'm going to do is melt some butter in the microwave. Going to grab a large flour tortilla. Looks like the butter's done melting. And I'm going to take you down and show you how I assemble this. First, what I'm going to do is spread some barbecue sauce on there. I'm using KC Masterpiece Hickory Brown Sugar. And I'm going to put a decent amount on there. Not too much. You don't want to get it ooey gooey. And then I'm going to spread it out just a little bit. Going to take the hot dog, remove the toothpick, and put it right there. I also got some green onions that I chopped up. Gonna put them in. I'm gonna use a combination of cheddar jack cheese. And you want to put a good amount of cheese there because you want it to get all nice and melted. Next, I'm gonna use some of these crispy onions. I don't normally put them in there, but I had them on hand and I figure, can't hurt. So we're gonna see how that works out. Gonna move everything down just a tad. Fold the ends. Get the flap over there. Some came out. I'm just going to brush that aside. And keep rolling it like a burrito. Just like that. Next, I'm going to take a toothpick, put it on this side, and one for the other side. Next, I'm going to take the butter that I melted and kind of baste it on. And that should help it get a nice golden brown when it's cooking. Next, I'm going to transfer it over to the air fryer basket with the flap side down. The Maxx is definitely up to temp at 350 degrees. So let's go ahead and put the air fryer basket in the regular air fry position. Close the doors and let her rip. So this step, you want to kind of monitor it and make sure it doesn't get too brown on the top. It should be like a nice golden light brown, okay? It's looking like it's getting pretty golden brown, and the reason why we're doing it at a lower temperature, because I could certainly go higher, because I want time for the cheese to melt inside. If I were to do it at like 450, it would only be like 2 minutes and take it out and the cheese wouldn't be melted. What fun is that? You got to have the cheese melted, right? All right, let's go ahead and take a look at it. Yeah, that looks pretty dang perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip it over so that the other side is able to brown. All right, so there's the other side. Let's go ahead and put it back in. And it should only be a few more minutes. While that's going, I'm going to go ahead and prepare part of the quesadilla. Going to grab another large flour tortilla shell. Going to go ahead and put a bunch of cheese there. And fortunately, I have another pack on standby because that's not quite enough. There we go. Spread it around. Make sure not to go to the total edge though. And then go ahead and flip it over. Make sure kind of everything's on one side and it's even. And I think this is about done. Let's take it out. All right, looking pretty good. I'm going to put the Maxx back on. I'll go with the 15 minutes. And I'm going to go with 350 degrees and let it start. That way it stays nice and warm. Meanwhile, I have a second bake drip pan thing, and I'm going to use it upside down like that. Going to put the quesadilla right on top, and then I'm going to baste some butter on the top side. And that way it's going to brown and not get all hard. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and remove the original drip pan. Not going to need that for this. And I'm going to go ahead and put the quesadilla in the regular air fry position. And let it go. And when it looks a little bit brown on top, then I'm going to flip it over. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and remove the toothpicks from this. Stayed together nice. And I'm going to use some pretty mild sauce on this. It's Tia Lupita. And just going to put it over the top. A little more there. And then I'm going to take a couple spoonfuls of sour cream. That should be good. Let's go ahead and take the quesadilla out. And I'm going to baste the other side with some butter. That should be good. And put it back in. And I think I'll do the lower bake 2 position this time. Also got some taco flavored Doritos. And that should make it a good little meal. Alright, that's looking like it's pretty much done. I'm going to go ahead and remove it. Yeah, I could have gone another minute or two. First time actually making a quesadilla, so cut me some slack. Alright, I've never cut a quesadilla before. I know how they normally do it, but I don't know. We're going to see what happens. I'll go ahead and cut it right down the middle. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut these. Yeah, it's nice and cheesy. I don't know if you could tell, but the cheese is totally melted. Oh yeah, that looks good. It's hot. Gonna put them on another plate. And I'm gonna go ahead and put another dollop of sour cream on this plate. And a little bit of hot sauce. And there we go. All right, we're back. And now I got the quesadilla already. I got the Hog Log Cheese Dog with the chips. Let's try that first. Looks nice and crispy. God, that's good. The cheese is all ooey gooey. Try another bite. That's good. Nice and crunchy on the outside. Not hard, just flaky crunchy. The cheese is melted. The sour cream, the hot sauce, the bacon on there. The fried crispy onion things I put in there, they're working out great. That's win. That's totally a win. Try the quesadilla, little sour cream, little hot sauce. Nice. All in all, this came out pretty darn good. The only note is next time I'm going to cook the bacon wrapped hot dog at 400 degrees, and it'll be a lot less time, that's for sure. But otherwise, my meal came out great. And thank you all for tuning in and watching this episode of The Food Experience, featuring Hog Log Cheese Dogs, a creation I made back in the 1980s, and a cheese quesadilla. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to drop me a line below. I enjoy hearing from you. And if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I got lots of good stuff coming up. And with that, we're going to tow this one out of here. Thanks again, everybody. Have a fantastic, stellar weekend. Be excellent. And most of all, remember me. I'm KJ Andio, your food experience host with the most. Take care, y'all, and I'll see you next time. Laters.